We're looking at a sort of a smaller swell than it's been the last couple of days, but the forecast is looking great.
Yeah, the forecast still looks unbelievable for around Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We might have something kick in a little earlier, so we could get round 2 done prior to that. But, yeah, you know, over the last few years, we probably would have ran on a day like today. There's still some fantastic little waves out there, but, oh, my God, it's shaping up this weekend really nicely. Like, the winds are even looking better. So, yeah, let's hope that it all does arrive, which I'm pretty sure it will, and it's going to be a great year.
Yeah, I saw in the forecast a bunch of purple blobs sort of loading up on each other, and usually that makes people cringe. Just hearing the size and the interval to the swell, it's really going to be a banger out there. Yeah,
it is. It's going to be, you know, come Wednesday night, not many competitors will be getting much sleep around here because it's going to be bashing the reef so loud, and if you're staying right here on the point, you'll be able to hear it come up, and it's going to be the biggest couple of days we've had in the event for a few years. So talking to Steve Robbo this morning, one of the media guys, and he reckons that we haven't had a wave in the 10-foot range for about 10 years of what we're seeing coming up this weekend or end of the week. So exciting stuff, Adam. We've got some amazing waves coming, and yeah, it's going to be fantastic to see some of these guys that have never had the opportunity to surf chopes at this size. Some new rookie guys, Owen Wright, Julian Wilson. You know, there's some guys out there that are got to prove himself, and you know, you got the usual suspects, Kelly Slater and the rest of the gang that'll be amazing out there too. So really exciting. Board, you know, equipment's changed the last few years too. So I'm really interested to see what these guys are going to ride. Is Kelly still going to ride a 511? You know, you know, a lot of these guys are riding short boards these days. Is there guys here who brought the bigger ones? So it's going to be fantastic. A lot of stuff going on.
Sounds great. Well, Joe, Sean, you heard it right there from Luke. That sounds like a great forecast. We got great things on the way. I'm shaking in my boots, and I'm not even surfing on Wednesday or Thursday. Back to you.
Thanks so much, Adam. Great to hear from you and Luke down there. And I guess the idea, you saw the surf just a second ago. All the boys are out there free surfing and having a blast. But with what we have to come, they want to get this thing going in the biggest possible, scariest surf we could ever see at Chopes.
Yeah, for sure, mate. Well, Louis kind of just holding his nerves here because, you know, he wants to keep as much of this contest here for those, you know, those 4 days of swell. So I think we're down to about 37 heats, which, you know, you could cram into 2 days. So it's going to be a real... Louis got a job on his hands. You know, there's a lot of swell, but there is, you know, some subtleties with this involved with getting these guys into the right waves.
And the channel gets hectic. You're not allowed to go out there and tie up once it gets that big. So there's a lot of great things to come today. At the moment, let's dive into this Surfline forecast a little bit more to show you what's been happening on the maps. We're going to bring you the Surfline South Pacific wave chart showing the swells on the way from Tahiti over the next several days. Our major interest are these 2 swells from New Zealand coming down on the charts there, Sean.
Yeah, for sure, Joey. Well, that first purple blob there, that is the front of it. That's the first one that arrives Thursday, Friday. And we've always thought that one's going to be paddleable. So we always kind of banked on that one being contestable. It's the other one you can see kind of just starting to round the south of New Zealand there. That's the one we think could be a little bigger, and that one could kind of go borderline.
As we look at the South Pacific satellite loop, this shows the first 2 storms developing near New Zealand. The 35 to 45 knot winds pointed right toward Tahiti. The swell from this storm will build and be strongest on Thursday, the 25th.
Yeah, well, the beauty of it now, mate, is, you know, these are real storms now. They're not virtual storms. The winds are actually blowing. So we kind of, you know, we're starting to see this, you know, this forecast lock in.
And now looking at the 7-day forecast, Sean, what are your favorite parts of this?
Oh, I'm loving red and yellow here, Joey. You can see, you know, leading up to Wednesday, we've kind of got conditions that we're seeing out there now, but then the spike comes late Wednesday, and then Thursday, Friday gets very, very interesting.
And you look down to the building east trade winds, which is going to be a big part of it. It should be pretty breezy towards the end of the week along with that big swell. But that red bump right there, very solid south-southwest swell Thursday, Friday. That's what Luke Egan was touching on, and that's what they're going to bank on to try to put this event in some serious, serious conditions. So it's going to be a pretty good week. And most times, lay days don't look as fun as it is right now. I know, Sean, you're shaking. You're going to get right out there.
Yeah, for sure, mate. We're going to get you a birthday barrel out there. But, mate, if you could offer these waves to any other event at, you know, any time during the year, they'd be running like 30 heats in it. You know?
Exactly.
And we're walking away from it.
It's kind of a weird thing, but that's what we got to love. We couldn't ask for a better forecast. Thanks again to the boys at Surfline for hooking us up with that. We're going to take a short break, but there is much more to come on the morning show from Tahiti. We'll be right back after this.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Cool.
when you're surfing with mates and there's some barrels, I get more excited than anyone. Looking into a barrel, like when one of your mates eats shit, it's just the best thing. Oh! Are you kidding me? It's almost more fun looking into it than being in there, because you're just like going, yeah, and then if they eat it, you're just like, yes. This is one of my favourite things. I love it. I surf because there's nothing better than getting crazy barrels with your mates.
I surf because there's always one wave in a session that makes a session, you know.
Welcome back, everybody. You're watching The Morning Show. I'm Joe Turpel with Sean Doherty, and the official call for the day, it is another lave day. Believe it or not, this new south swell that we were expecting to come, still in that mid-range, but we want some size, Sean.
Yeah, for sure, mates. It's some fun ones out there. Absolutely. We're going to go have a little taste of it later on. But, mate, with the forecast that's coming, you know, we've just got to kind of hold at the line and just wait.
And round two is going to be pretty insane. We've got guys like Jeremy Flores and Hiari Williams that are going to be warming up on your screen here. We've got world number one, Joel Parkinson, a little zombie dive out the back of that one. That's actually a safety maneuver because it gets pretty dry right there. But Parko's having a blast.
Yeah, he threw me the dummy. He told me he was going down his little secret spot down the bottom of the island. But I think he's actually seen a couple of sets out there and figured, you know, it's worth a little free surf just to stay tuned up.
And he's been kind of moving around with Hawk. I know they've been kind of sampling some secret zones, some little waves that don't even look like waves. And, gosh, he's been frothing.
Yeah, for sure. Well, they surfed a secret little right that's probably not so secret if you knew where it was. But they had a blast yesterday. And all these guys, even though we're not running the event, they're surfing every day like 2-3 times. And
thinking about some of the best rides, these guys getting in the lay days, but that opening round was phenomenal. Let's review the top 10 waves of that opening round right now. It started off, Michel Perez, I think he comes in at that 10th spot with an 8.5. He had to do a tour of the reef, and once he got back out in the lineup, this is what happened.
Yeah, for sure. Well, mate, if anyone knows this reef, it's the Spartan, Michel Perez, and you can see conditions here on day one, just flawless. These guys had a ball. And the channel lighting up, always showing the local support for Michel Perez. Travis Logie flew straight from France, 3 hours of sleep, dropped right into this bomb. Yeah, straight out of our customs here at Papeete Airport and into that. Of course, Travis here in place of Bobby. Just had to come straight from France, straight from the airport, just made his heat, and was pretty glad he did. And then Patrick Gadauskas, San Clemente's favorite, coming into the lineup in an All-American battle, 8.60. Yeah, Pat really impressed me in this heat. Not only this wave, he lost despite having this wave, but he looked like he really wanted a piece of Chopu out there. He looked like he really wanted it. The thing was, he ended up getting beat at the end by Damien Hobgood, so he's going to have to surf again in round two. And then Damien's twin brother, CJ, took the lineup and was the MVP of our highlight reel, Sean. Yeah, well, I think he's going to constitute the rest of the highlight reel. I think he's got about 4 waves in this top 10. And, mate, he just totally owned this heat against Joel Parkinson. Dusty Payne, just like he should, expecting big things out of him at one of his favorite waves in the world. Here he goes, getting an 8.83. Yeah, Dusty looked great. And, again, it's going to be really interesting to see how Dusty goes when it gets big. Because I'm tipping he could really have a dig here. Oh, dangerous draw with Dusty Payne already into round 3. Josh Kerr, the highlight of our free surf on the opening day, and then got a 9.07 on his first wave of the heat. Yeah, but again, Joey, not enough to get him out of the heat. That was amazing. Kersey owned this heat all the way, with starting with that wave, but didn't win it. Looking from our Kendall O'Brien channel cam, and as he comes flying out of the tube, 9.07 as he looks back into the barrel and thanks it for that beautiful ride. But another guy who didn't make it out of his heat was Gabe Kling from Florida, dropping into this beauty. This came in at a 9.2, but wasn't enough. Yeah, well, I think he needed a 9.87 and then got that absolute keg. And it kind of went pretty close, you know, because Mick Fanning ended up winning the heat, but he had a couple of nervous moments waiting for that score. CJ, again, welcome back to the highlights, CJ. Right into the tube, deep on this one, had some of the coolest, most tranquil claims, too, of that opening round. Look at this little nose pick claim. Yeah, he was just making cups of tea in there. Look, he's just in there. He just does it so easily. Picks the right ways, found all the sweet spots. And there's the nose blow claim.
having a blast out there. Frankie D giving Julian Wilson a ride on the ski and put him right into this one. 9.83, no grab at the start. Grabs his rail and gets blown out in the channel.
Yeah, that's the one that took Kersey down. Kersey was owning that heat right up until that point. But Jules is another guy who could do something pretty special when this wave gets serious come Thursday, Friday.
Love that approach. And then all of a sudden the wave of the event just free falling into the bomb there. CJ Hobgood.
There's the Twitter claim.
9.87 for this ride. Near perfect. There were a couple 10s thrown, and you can see why.
Yeah. And the judges were probably really reticent to throw 10s on the first day, but they did throw a couple at Siege's one there. And naturally, he was pretty happy with the result.
So looking at this point, we've got CJ Hobgood owning that highlight reel from day one, but with some size on the way. Are we going to see the same guys kind of dominate this lineup?
Oh, for sure, mate. Oh, I think he could probably throw that highlight reel out. Come Thursday, Friday, we won't be needing that because I think it was the usual suspects there on day one. You know, it was Siege, Damien, Corey, all the guys that have got a bit of pedigree out here, Kelly. But it's like we said, mate, a lot of these guys have not seen proper chopes ever. They've not had it in a contest. So for a lot of them, we're going into the unknown. It's a massive challenge for some of these guys.
Exactly. That challenge is going to bring in some big awards. There's going to be a special Andy Irons Award for the biggest charger, and that's probably going to come to that big part of the swell later on in the week. Also think about our Nixon WTA watch, $10,000 custom watch that's made special for each and every event. Usually the trialists win that thing, Sean, but now we're going to see it in the main event.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the Andy Charging Award is going to be the interesting one because there is going to be plenty to charge out there come Saturday, Sunday.
Think about Von Zipper, creative questions for GT coming in the channel. You could win some shades, but also check out the Heat Analyzer. You can go back to round one and check out all the best moments and get the whole story from those heats at Breakthrough and Heats on Demand.
Oh, mate, that thing is amazing. I sat there with one heat for 20 minutes and just picked it apart yesterday. It's all time-coded. You can find all the best waves. It's all sorted out, easy to navigate. It's a real breakthrough in how to look back at a heat.
Exactly. We saw those top 10 waves, Sean, but also when you think about Chopa, you think about some heavy wipeouts. And we are going to leave you today with a piece of some crazy wipeouts out here in Tahiti. For now, we're going to say goodbye. We hope you enjoy your day. I'm Joe Turpel. Sean Doherty signing off from Tahiti.
Just kind of being out there and feeling the power of the wave, you kind of always know that, you've got to show it a lot of respect.
You're nervous, for sure, because it's Chopa. It's the heaviest wave probably in the world.
There's always a pretty big risk element involved. You can find yourself in the wrong spot. You can get pretty peeled open by the reef.
You got to kind of push your limits and take off deeper than you want to out there, for sure.
I was just dropping for ages.
Straight to the reef.
Got my legs all cut up, my arms cut up, broke my board in 3 places.
And you turn around and there's a 12-foot-plus wave just looming behind you.
It was just terrifying. It was such unfamiliar territory. I just saw this thing coming. I was just like, I'm standing in knee-deep water and that thing's up there. Like, what do I do?
I took a pretty bad wipeout. I got a natural enema.
I was like running on the reef and there was an 8-foot set, 8-foot water. It was like a tidal wave.
They kind of black out the horizon on you, so it sucks all the way to the corner of the wave, and you just know you're stuck. You know there's nowhere to go.
I got pinned up against the reef. I got rolled a few times, and then the leash is almost around my neck, and then I'm almost gonna die.
I don't really swim down anywhere. There's nowhere to go. So you just kind of wear it on the head and get thrashed around for a bit.
When it's doing its thing, it's a quite intense barrel.
Definitely gets your heart going, the blood rushing, and that's what it's all about. I mean, kind of sets apart the men from the boys, and some guys want to go, some guys don't, but I love the challenge. I really am looking forward to that event, and seeing who's got the balls to go, it's going to be so fun.
The whole world focuses on that event, when it happens.